An emergency variant is currently being discussed at EU level, according to which a trade agreement with Great Britain does not necessarily have to be in place by the end of the year. London doesn't want to know anything about it. In poker about a new trade agreement between the European Union and the UK, according to a media report, a trade agreement could still be reached in the event of a hard Brexit. An emergency variant is currently being examined at EU level. The commercial contract, therefore, does not necessarily have to be signed and sealed by the end of the year. If necessary, a contract would come into force after a short, unregulated phase at the beginning of January. The newspapers of the Funke Mediengruppe in Germany reported that on Wednesday, citing EU council circles. It is now being discussed that in the event that an agreement does not succeed by around November 10th, one can accept chaos at the beginning of the year for a few weeks and simply continue to negotiate, said a high-ranking EU diplomat familiar with the talks. This is not a desirable solution because something like a hard Brexit would be allowed for a certain period of time. Prime Minister Boris Johnson, on the other hand, considers a return to the negotiating table after a hard Brexit to be out of question. We have repeatedly made it clear that an agreement must be made before the end of the transition period, and we will not negotiate any further next year, said a Johnson spokesman. And once again, not Johnson, Johnson's spokesman. And thanks, Maximilien Robespierre, for pointing me on that point, that always when something like this coming up, it said a spokesman, not Johnson, Gove, or especially not Cummings. The government had to give security to British citizens and businesses, and endless negotiations would not do that. According to previous expectations, a hard Brexit with the EU threatens if no contract is concluded in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Then ratification by the parliaments in Brussels and London, and the technical implementation will no longer succeed in time for the current Brexit transition phase to expire at the end of the year. And not to forget the 27 national parliaments in the other EU countries, and in some cases even state parliaments. And if you now want to know more about European or global politics, YouTube has chosen another of my video right here in the end screen for you, right next to your chance to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in my next video. Click and enjoy. Viel Spaß!